But when you can't save them and they're young like that, oh, it hits different. I don't know why, it just hits different and it's hard.
Hey guys, welcome to 3 Mississippi. Sid here. Thanks for clicking on the video. Today we have some doctoring to do. We've got some lambs that have some scours due to wet pasture, which I'll explain in a minute. But Mike actually finished harvesting some lettuce and cleaning it and separating it. Oh my goodness. The girls are sitting on some turkey eggs right now. Anyway, I'm going to give this to the goats over here because with the lambs already having scours, I'm not going to give them lettuce because it's just got a higher water content. But these guys are fine. So we're going to give it to them real quick and get all our stuff out so that we can take care of doctoring these poor little lambs, and I'll explain exactly what's going on. Hi babies, come here. Come on. Come on, Sai. Sai, come here, handsome. Come here. Oh, Dan, do you have to steal all his stuff? There we go. Bernice, are you yelling at me? Why are you always yelling at me? If you guys have been following along with our journey here, we have been starting our sheep flock the last couple of months. And a couple of my lambs, as you can see, are a lot smaller. Like this one right here, that's Zelda from marketing. And then we've got the one standing up by the tree there. That's Sandy from accounting. And we've got the other little one over here, which Frankie named Milky Way because of her color pattern. And you can see they're kind of laying down. That one's having a little trouble standing up now. They've had real bad scours, which can happen in animals that are on pasture for a lot of different reasons. Sometimes, you know, they get anxious. Sometimes, you know, livestock will get like diarrhea. Essentially, that's what scours is diarrhea after a move or something stressful happening. And long story short, a lot of times when you have a very wet season and then your pasture comes up, your grasses have a lot of water in them. And so the water content of it can cause them to get scours and basically, again, diarrhea. And there's ways to combat this. I tried to do it more naturally first, which was with giving them some hay instead of, you know, just the pasture. Gave them some more grain, a little bit of alfalfa, help perk them up. They're still eating and drinking and doing all the things, but their diarrhea slowed down a little bit and then ramped up again because we had more rain, more growth, all of the things. I picked up some probiotics to give the 3 little ones that are struggling with it. The rest of the lambs are fine. The rest of the ewes are fine. They are a little bit bigger and they are also a little bit older. So it's not affecting them. The little ones, however, it is affecting. Got some goodies to kind of doctor them up with and hope that I can get them to perk up and alleviate them of these scours, because if left untreated, it can kill them basically. You know, they're losing too much water, they're not getting enough nutrients because it's all just passing through them, and so it can be bad. So with the natural remedies the last couple of days not working, and them seeming to not getting really any better or any relief from that, also it's hard to get them to want to eat the hay because they have nice green pasture to eat and that's what they want to eat, but right now that's what's making them sick, as it were. And this is more common in like younger lambs. I know some of you might be like, oh, they probably just have worms. They don't have worms, I can tell you that. I am a fecal checker. of all of the animals. I'm always looking at everybody's poop because I like to try to catch things early. So I'm always, every day, and I've talked about this before, even with my birds, I try to lay eyes and or hands on everybody every day so that I notice when somebody's missing, when somebody's losing weight, when somebody's starting to do the head nod, when somebody, you know, anything is off, you know, or if I notice like in the coop, there's some suspicious looking poop or whatever, so that I can isolate and treat as soon as possible. Because with birds, you have like really no time a lot of times to take care of these things. But with the lambs, you know, obviously because they're young, I'm obviously been keeping a closer eye on them with this little bout of diarrhea. So going to get them some of these meds and these probiotics, and I'll go over exactly what I'm giving them in a minute and how we're going to administer it. Again, this is one of those reasons why I wanted to make the beginning part of our flock really tame so that I can do these kinds of things when somebody is ill or needs separated without having to chase everybody or make it a big ordeal. This should go pretty smoothly because the animals know me, they trust me, I can touch them all over. With the exception of the 2 newest ones, they're still warming up to me. But the younger ones that we've had for a little while now are definitely very used to me, very comfortable with me, and I can do just about anything to them. I can pick them up, I can pick up each hoof, I can poke them in the mouth, I can do all the things. So getting, you know, an oral syringe in their mouth is not going to be hard to do today. And watch, I just jinxed myself, but it should go pretty smoothly. Again, especially because I tend to deal with the animals a lot when I'm by myself, being able to handle them and administer meds if I need to, or check on a wound or do any of those things. This makes it easier that I have them more comfortable with me and more comfortable with being handled and not so, well, sheepish. So let's go get them doctored up, grab all my stuff and drag it over there. And then if I'm feeling ambitious, today's the day. I think we're going to be cleaning out the coop and redoing the sand today as well, because today's the day. It just feels right. So that we're not raining. It's not gonna rain. We might get rain tomorrow a little bit, but that's fine. But it needs done, and so I think today's the day. So let's get after it. Good job, bubs. So the first thing I'm gonna do is dump out their water, actually, because I change their water every few days. But I'm going to be making basically an electrolyte solution for them. So I only want them to have access to a small thing of water that's got the electrolyte concentrate in it, hi sweet pea, versus the big tub. You know, if I had 100 head and they all had scours, obviously I would be doing this differently. But because we are not at that point yet, we're going to do it this way and hope that I can, oops, let me get that out of the way. I know, you guys just want to be underfoot, don't you? I know it. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Get this rinsed out. I'm not going to be using this right now, but I do want to get it rinsed out so it's just not sitting there gross. I'll scrub it. I'll scrub it before I, you know, refill it for them. Watch out, Bibs. They're a little confused because that's their food bowl normally. It's just water. Hold on. I gotta put your stuff in there. What are you doing? Bernice, come on. I know. Hold on. Just wait. Wait your turn. That's sweet. Okay, so what I'm putting in here right now is a light solution. And they found the feed I brought out here. but it's got some vitamin B and a lot of different vitamins in it that's gonna help with that. You're fine. You can tell which ones are the newest ones, these two. A little skittish. Zelda over here from research and development, so I can pet her a little bit. And then we've got Barbara Jean. She's an administrative assistant over here. Now I'm gonna put this inside of here so that if they do knock it over, at least it'll be, you know. Hey guys, this was not part of the plan. Watch out, Bubs. Hey, guys. Hey, stop. We're not doing that right now. Stop, stop, stop. Thank you. I'm gonna hide the grain up on the fence. Hey, ladies, on the fence post for now, just to just to help with temptation there, because I do want to mix some of this in with some of their feed and try to get them to eat it too. Even the ones that right now, like these two, that one has just a touch. Barbara Jean has just a touch, like barely any, but soft stool. So, but this one here, look at her back end. You can see she's all muddy. That's not mud. That's not mud. It's not mud. So, I've got some probiotic that I'm going to give them. This is going to help with their gut health. So I'm going to give some to this one here. This is Milky Way. And I forgot to bring my glasses out here, so this ought to be a good time. Let's see, I got to find the little lines. It's like 5 grams basically is what you're giving them. So there we go. Come here, sweet pea. Come here. Put this in my pocket so they don't try to eat the cap. If you put it on their finger, or on your finger rather. There we go. Yeah. And Bernice is like, why am I not getting any? Because you're not sick. Yeah, because you're not sick. Now these two that are under the tree are the two that I'm the most concerned about. We're gonna get you all fixed up, Mama. We're gonna get you both fixed up. Yep. Come here, sweet pea. Come here. Yeah, did you get all in your mouth? Just gonna make you feel better. I promise. I promise. Okay, and Sandy from accounting here. Bernice, you're not getting any. You're fine. You're fine. Okay. Come here, sweet pea. I know. I know. Just good. It looks like toothpaste. Good for a little gut. Yeah. Can we do a little more? The rest of it? There we go. There we go. That's good. There we go. Good girl. See how much easier that is than having to chase them around the paddock? Now, granted, they're not moving really fast right now, these two in particular, because they're not feeling great. I can tell by looking at them. That's another thing. Like, it's good to know your livestock. See how her ears are a little drooped? Her eyes are a little kind of like not excited. She's lost that spark. You could just tell by looking at her little face, and that one too. They're not happy right now, which I get. Like, their tummies are upset. It's kind of the equivalent of like if you ate, it'd be the opposite problem. But you know, if you eat like too many things of licorice or too many gummy bears, and your tummy gets upset and you maybe get constipated because that kind of binds you up, they're having the opposite problem. They ate too much candy, and now they're, you know, kind of suffering the consequences of it. Here's a little more, just a little bit. And as a result, I can tell just by feeling them and looking at them every day, they've not only not gained weight, but I think they've lost a couple of pounds this week, which is not good. So, like I said, I monitor them really closely. I tried to do this the natural way with adjusting their feed, but it's just not doing the trick. They're too small and they're too young and it's not working. So we're going for some actual meds. So this is the probiotic that's going to help with their gut health, to help them basically just be in a better state. The next thing we're going to give them is essentially like livestock ammonium. and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, I just had to move the camera under a little bit of a canopy here because it started raining like a little bit of a lot. So I'm gonna run back in there and you'll still be able to hear me, you'll still be able to see, but you just won't be quite as close. So what I have here, this big pink jug, this is kale and pectin, and it's basically like Imodium for livestock. These guys are really small, so I'm only gonna give them about 3 mLs. The standard dose for lambs is between 5 and 10 usually, but these guys are really small. So I don't want to give them too much. So I'm only going to do 3 mLs. And I'm just going to use an oral syringe. I need 1 extra set of hands sometimes, I swear. There we go. So I'm going to give this to her first. Hi, sweet pea. I know. I know. Just a little bit. Yeah. Good girl. Whoop. And I dropped it. Good job. I know, it's not fun. I'm gonna get a little bit more in here to give to Milky Way that's over there. And this stuff lasts forever. I always have liked to keep this on hand. This works for cows, this works for goats. A long time ago, a couple years ago, Caroline actually got really sick and had a bad bout of diarrhea. And again, not due to worms or anything like that, just basically had scours, and there was a lot going on. She'd lost her babies, it threw her into a tailspin, it was a whole thing. So anyway, this is one of those things that I do like to keep on hand for situations like that. Clean some of that poop off your butt so it's not on your cookie. Yeah, we don't want poop on our cookie. Yeah, that's better, huh? Okay, so that's good. She's up and walking around. And this one I'm really worried about. She's kind of, since this morning, since I got back from Tractor Supply, or since between when I left and got back from Tractor Supply, it seems like she's kind of taken a turn for the worse. And so I gotta get these electrolytes in her like stat, because she's not looking so good. So this is a sheep and goat liquid B12. I'm also gonna try to give her some of that other electrolyte solution just straight into her mouth because she's not doing well. Ooh, that smells really good. Yeah, let me see. We're not doing good. Come here. I'm gonna get some vitamins in you. Yep. Open up. There we go. There we go. No, we're not feeling good, huh? We're not feeling good. Stay up. I'm gonna stay up. Let's get her tummy working, Mama. She does not have bloat, obviously. That's not what's wrong, but I'm just rubbing her tummy a little bit and kind of getting her up on her feet to get her moving around a bit, get her kind of perked up a little bit, make her feel a little better. Like I said, everybody else is out grazing, doing fine. Of the other 2 lambs that needed some attention, they're doing much better than she is. She is definitely the weakest link, huh, Sandy? We're gonna get you feeling better though. Mama's gonna do everything I can. That's one of the reasons why I'm a real big advocate for, you know, really laying eyes on all of your animals every day and paying attention to small changes, because in some animals, when they're young, or just birds, like I said, in general, they can go from fine to dead really fast with almost no warning. Sometimes. And so if you're not paying attention to some of the subtle cues, like simple things like they didn't run up to get their grains, or they were kind of, you know, weren't willing to push into the pack to get the food or the water. They just kind of hung back a little bit, or it took them longer to get up to come over or something like that. So, you know, all of those things are factors. So I'm just hoping, I put a little food on the ground for her too, just in case. Couldn't get her to eat any out of my hand. She's just kind of not even chewing cud right now. She's just kind of chewing her mouth around a little bit, but she's licking the rest of the medicine that kind of got on her lips and on her chops and doing a little bit better. She's on her feet. She's not exactly, I wouldn't say she's super steady on her feet right now. And she's definitely, you can feel she's definitely on the skinny side right now. And that's the thing with scours like this from wet pasture, is they're eating. They are not, it's not for lack of food. There's plenty of food out here. It's simply just it's too wet. It's too much for their little systems. And there's more, you know, I'm not going to get into all the science of it and exactly what it does in their little bodies, but basically it can be a problem. So when your pasture looks really lush and green, sometimes for your younger ones, it's a potential problem that you have to keep an eye out for. And I've definitely been watching for it. But like I said, this one in particular, she kind of went from 0 to 60 on this. So gonna check back on her in a little while, kind of let the electrolytes kick in, let the probiotic kick in, see if she eats any of this food. I'm gonna be right over by the coop working, so I can run over and check on her if she's to take a turn. I'm determined not to lose her, but she definitely went downhill really quickly in the last couple of hours since I went to the store to get everything and come back. Definitely on my prayer list right now. She's definitely got me concerned. So we're gonna do everything we can to save her, essentially, and get these guys on the mend. The good news is, though, when I've had sick goats or lambs before that I've had to doctor, as quickly as they go downhill, they recover just as quickly, in my experience. It's usually, you know, it's one of those, they bounce back fast. So I'm hoping that I got this stuff in her in time, that we'll have a good outcome here. Let's go work on that coop and we'll come back and check on her in a bit and see if she's perked up. Want some food? Come on. Come on, babies. Come on. Put this over the straw so that they are forced to eat some of the straw. Come on, Zelda. Baby, it's empty. It's empty. I'm really hoping she perks up. It's not looking good right now, not gonna lie. Usually when you get to the point where you see this kind of listlessness in an animal, it's not good. And like I said, she was not like that this morning. And it's clear that, like, since this morning and since I got back from getting everything, that the diarrhea was more since I was gone. So she's struggling. I'm just hoping that those things I gave her will start to kick in, and I'll just give her more electrolytes over the next couple of hours to help perk her up and hope that it does the trick. But we'll check back on her in a little bit. Let's see about tackling that coop. Man, we're getting thunder again. So listen, guys, twice a year I like to gut the coop. I usually do it in the spring and then again at the end of summer, beginning of fall. And I use sand in my coop, so it makes it really easy throughout the year. Daily, I go in there with essentially a really long-handled kitty litter scoop, and then I have my muck bucket over here, and I just scoop it out and dump it in, and it really does keep it nice and clean for a long time. But eventually, you've pulled out some of the sand, and eventually it just needs a good scrubbing. And we're at that point where it needs a good scrubbing, and I've pulled out some of the sand. I already did buy, in preparation for this day coming, some sand. I have some leftover. I always try to keep a couple bags on hand because I do sometimes add a bag or two over that 6-month period in between, but I do have a bunch more bags under the shop that I can add in here as well to make it nice and full. But essentially, I'm gonna take everything out, hose out the inside really well, and then put it all back together. Got this one broody girl in here. Sweet mama jamma. No, we're not gonna be violent. We're not gonna choose violence. We're not gonna choose violence. I know we're not gonna choose violence. I know. Come here. Now, unfortunately, right now we have the birds run like right here. So I don't have my normal like space that I would do this in. I usually would just pull it straight out. Can't really do that. So I'm gonna have to pull it up here. right, so I just walked over there to check on that one lamb specifically. She's down at the back end of the pasture now, grazing and standing over there. So she's up and moving on her own now. She just needed a minute. Obviously, I'm going to continue to check on her. That's good. That gives me hope that she might just pull through. But now the fun part. Let's get to shoveling. All this mess that you see here is what was behind the nesting box. It gets pretty messy back there. And especially, you know, you get a broken egg back there once in a while that you don't see, and their feathers get caught back there. Makes a bit of a mess.
She did wander off and was doing a little bit better, but really only time will tell at this point. I've done medically about everything I can do for her, so now it's kind of a waiting game.
So I just went and checked on her. The rain has stopped. As you can see, it's sunny again. Crazy. Went from sideways rain to sunny in the space of an hour. She's not doing great. I'm going to fix her up another oral syringe of electrolytes and vitamins, and hope that perks her up. Like I said, there's really now it's just time, and I just hope that she is able to pull through, and if she can make it through the night, we'll be in good shape. But right now it's a waiting game. So might be sleeping in the pasture tonight. We'll see.
So the problem with having livestock is that sometimes you have dead stock. I did everything I could to try to save her. But she got progressively worse over the last few hours, and I had to put her down. I know medically I did everything I could have done for her, but you could tell she was done and her body was shutting down. And the humane thing to do was to, you know, not let her suffer. It doesn't make it easier. It never does. And I know that these animals serve a purpose. We eat our animals, we breed our animals. But it doesn't get easier when they're sick. When they get sick so fast like that, and you try to do everything you can to save them, you have to know when to call it so that they're not suffering. You just have to. And it's the worst thing. It's the worst thing to look at an animal and go, they're suffering now. They're not coming back from this. They've crossed that line. And she had crossed that line. And I was like, okay, she's not going to recover from this. I'm bummed. I really was hoping I could save her. But she declined so fast between this morning and today. And mind you, they started out with very, just soft stool a couple of days, and then diarrhea for like 2 days, did all the things with the food, and then now like just she kind of, hers ramped up today. And sometimes you have to call livestock, and that's part of farming, that's part of homesteading, that's part of all of it. And it is definitely, for me, the hardest part about all of it. It's not the early mornings or the late nights or the schlepping stuff from here to there and cleaning stuff and doing things. It's the when one gets sick and you can't save them. And I have saved a lot of animals over the years. Let me preface this by saying I know I have saved a lot of animals that wouldn't have made it if I hadn't have intervened. But when you can't save them and they're young like that, oh, it hits different. I don't know why, it just hits different. And it's hard, and it's frustrating because we're working really hard to build this flock, and we want the ones that are the strongest, and we want the ones that have the will to live and that don't get sick, and that can thrive on our land. It doesn't mean that I didn't want her to have every chance to come back from this. And she wasn't coming back from it. I don't know. I guess, why am I recording this? Why am I sitting here telling you guys this right now after showing you everything from earlier today? I guess it's to show you that while they're livestock, it's important to care. It's important to do everything you can to give them healthy, happy lives. And when you realize that you can't, you've intervened as much as you can and there's nothing else you can do to put them out of their misery, because that's what a good shepherd does. That's what a good steward of their flock does. And so sometimes when we have to call an animal, and some of you guys might be laughing at me right now because I just processed how many chickens the other day for meat, but they weren't sick and they didn't know it was coming and they weren't in pain. It was done. This is different. I don't like to watch them suffer when I can't save them. And having to make that final call of she's not coming back from this, I hate that. All of that to say, I don't like to get on the internet and cry. It's not my jam. I'm not doing this for pity or sympathy or anything. I'm simply sharing this with you because a lot of people that watch our channel either want to start a farm, want to start a homestead, or they are starting one. And I think it's important to understand that it's not all roses and daisies, and that sometimes it's pretty sucky. This is one of those sucky days. Part of you, when this kind of thing happens, you feel like you failed. It's not a good feeling because you're in charge of these animals' well-being. And that's an important charge that I take seriously. And so when one gets sick or something happens and I can't save them, I don't know. It's frustrating, I guess. And just makes you feel really bad about the situation. We went from 7 ewes down to 6 today. And it's a little setback in the overall scheme of things. But that's reality. That's reality. It's not a good day, Tater. It's not a good day. And if anybody's gonna give me grief for like crying over livestock, don't. I never want to be the person that doesn't care about the animals they're raising and doesn't get upset when one gets sick or one has to be put down or something happens. I never want to be that person. And for those of you that don't understand the difference between the animals you have that are raised for meat and the ones that are raised as your breeders and the ones that are supposed to be with you for a long time, it's different. It's different. If you don't understand that you can care about your animals and still know that they're food, then I feel sorry for you. You know, I think you can still be a good steward of your animals, and you've been entrusted to care for these animals, and I take it seriously. And I hate it when I fail. And today, I failed. So, it's gonna bother me for a long time. I wish I had better news to report. And I wish things had gone differently. But it didn't. I will take the lessons from this and move forward. Continue to care for the animals the best that I can. So, that's it today, guys. Sorry it's a downer, but that's the reality of the farm. Some days you have bad days. Today's a bad day. Today's a bad day.